I still love this movie, but there were some things that I wasn't a huge fan of, like the blood thing. It's PG 13. PG 13 movies can have blood, especially animated movies, because they go way more lenient. Because in fucking Batman vs. Robin, that's PG 13. And that one is extremely brutal, not to mention someone's heart gets ripped out. In this, there's some blood here and there, but really only for plot purposes. Like Jason gets blood on a sword, so Batman can, trace his DNA to confirm that it is Jason. And I mean, there's blood after Batman hurts Jason's hand near the end of the movie, and there's blood when um, Jason blows a guy's head up, but we only see the blood go on the wall. We don't actually see what happens, which is understandable. But Jason does 3 headshots, shoots 3 people in the head, and there's no blood. There's just like oil on the wall from earlier. It's also a very talented voice actors in this movie. Jensen Ackles, who plays Soldier Boy in The Boys, does amazing as Red Hood. Neil Patrick Harris is in this movie. He plays Nightwing. He does fine, but he's not a major role in this movie because it's a short movie. It's only an hour and 15 minutes, which includes credits. And it's a Batman and Robin story. So he's not really needed. So he gets injured and thrown out of the movie, though we do see him in a non-speaking role near the end of the movie, listening to the radio. John DeMaggie, I think is how you pronounce it, plays an amazing Joker. He is still my favorite Joker, if we count animated Jokers. But if we're talking live action, I've always thought Jack Nicholson did great. And, Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix really did their own thing. They weren't really Jokers. They got Oscars and nominated for Oscars for a reason. Their performances were amazing. I just don't think they were Joker performances. They still deserved the Oscar, though. Anyways, yeah, John DeMaggie, absolutely amazing as Joker. There were a few lines here and there that didn't make too much sense. The one that first comes to my mind, though, is Black Mask hires some assassins to kill Jason, and the assassin tries to have this cool, badass moment, and he's like, I can just blow your head up because he just wants your body. He doesn't want your head or you alive or anything like that. Even though Black Mask literally has a line where he says, I want Jason's head mounted on my wall. Well, not Jason, because he doesn't know he's Jason. But you get what I mean. He's like, I want his head mounted on my wall dead. That's kind of dead I want. Black Mask is pretty good too. Once again, though, he's not in the big picture. They have references to other characters, some, not straight up said. Like, they straight up mention Scarecrow, Penguin, and Dent, and then Jason also mentions Barbara Gordon by saying, ignoring all the people Jason's killed, friends he's crippled. It's just an amazing performance by Jensen Ackles. Like, he's a really good Jason. You can barely tell that it is Jensen Ackles. And his voice has just become so iconic as Red Hood. I think it's going to be hard when I see future projects that don't have him in it. Because even though Red Hood is a very popular character, he still isn't in that much media. He was DLC in Injustice 2. And I think that's really about it. He's shown up in other things, but he's never had a major role besides this movie. And Batman Death in the Family, which is really just kind of a spin-off with more details and shit where you get to do your own decisions. I've already reviewed that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's really about it. There really isn't that much to this movie since it's so short. It is a really good story, and all the actors do really well. Besides Neil Patrick Harris, I think he was just decent. He wasn't bad. But at times you can definitely hear that it's Neil Patrick Harris. And I do wish, though, one last thing, that Nightwing would have had a reaction to finding out that Red Hood was Jason. Alfred has one. So I wish Nightwing would have got one.